Hello from Michigan.
What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to make tuna pasta salad. I'll show you all the ingredients and let's get started. I have to get started with noodles. You can use any noodles you want. I got elbow. Pretty much follow directions on the bottom. These are already done already. I boiled them in some salt water. The noodles are all dry. I did wash them off and let them sit there for a little bit. You don't want no extra water or anything in the noodles, so make sure those are somewhat dry. Now here's all the ingredients. You don't have to use all of them. I got 2 spoons, a red onion, can opener, and a knife. I got mayonnaise. You don't have to use peas. And you don't have to use it from a can, you can use frozen. I actually got the tuna. Got the tuna there, 9-ounce can. Now you got relish. This one we have one open and there's another one here that's have to probably use. I showed you the mayonnaise. Now most of these seasonings are optional. Like the parsley, you don't have to add parsley. I'm adding onion. I'm gonna add a little bit of onion powder to it. A little bit of garlic. Now here's the rest of the optional. Or towards the end. I have 2 different paprikas. You can use either regular or I got smoked paprika, and obviously salt and pepper to taste. I am going to use a little bit of salt. You have a big mixing bowl with a whisk in it, chopping board for the onion. I think that's about it for all the stuff that you'll need. It's kind of hard to get all this in one shot here. Let's get this onion. I'm gonna start out with the onion first. I'm gonna chop that up. So let's get this going. Best I can do with the camera angle. I don't have a second camera or whatever, so I'll try to show you best I can. Probably could have zoomed in maybe. But get red onion. Got a sharp knife. I need to get another knife. I had to fix the handle on it because it's broken, and then it's all floppy, whatever. But whatever works, all I have. So I'm gonna cut top of the onion off. Hopefully this onion's good. Looks like it. Yep, smell check's good. Doesn't smell bad. Onion usually has a bad smell to it if it's rotten kind of thing. Now some people say that you can barely cut the end of the onion off the roots. It helps with from your eyes from tearing. There's all kinds of myths out there that you can do, but I can use this like a small, medium onion. I'm gonna wash off the knife real quick. There's onion skin on it, which I don't want. Cut it in half. And we'll take out at least 1 layer onion. That way it gets the skin. And there's usually like 1 layer that's like really chewy and like rubbery kind of thing. I usually wash my onions off. It does kind of help. See, the onion's starting to grow. You can see it's starting to grow. You can still use it, it's not bad. But I do wash my onions off. It kind of cuts down on the your eyes from watering and tearing up. That's 1 onion, other half. Do the same thing with this one. Don't want no onion peel. Wash this one off. There's a knife off again, onion peel, onion skin. Now there's 2 ways to cut this onion. Either you can just chop it up in slices, you know, and then chop it up that way when it's in slice. Or you can do, now you don't really have to do this part. I want to show you like this. Normally you cut the onion down. It's kind of hard to show you guys. So you just, I guess I can have to do it this way anyway. Like that. Take the end of the knife, and I'm just going to make little cuts here. Whatever size you want. I'm just going to like almost like a medium sized, bite-sized onion kinda. I'm not cutting all onion all the way towards the end, but I am cutting all the way through. One little piece here if I can't see that part. And all you do is slice it up. I don't know the measurements, I just cut onions as I feel fit. And I'm going to take this onion and throw it in the bowl off to the side here. That way it's easier to... And I didn't cut the onion all the way towards the bottom. So the next couple of slices I'm going to have to show you the other way that you can cut the onion if you don't want to cut it this way. I might get this one, just cut all the way through. Yeah, okay, that one there's already cut. So last of this onion, you can either chop it up this way or whatever, but that's like a little bit too thick anyway. So I'm going to cut this in half again. Get this out of the way. Half. Put your fingers. A rough chop here real quick. That's good enough. I know you're technically not supposed to scrape your knife on a chopping board because it makes it dull. These are not expensive knives anyway, so I don't really care. If you have like an expensive knife and really sharp knife, you don't want to do that because you can take a risk of cutting yourself. Now I already showed you one onion. I'm going to chop this other one up the same way. So I'll just cut that part out and move on to the next step. Oh crap, what's that up? That was quick if I fast forward it. I was adding onions to the mixing bowl. I guess I don't have a dual camera, which I did. Different angles and stuff. That's it for the onion. That's all you really gotta do is chop that up. I'm gonna break the onion up a little bit, make sure they're not big pieces like this here. Just break my hands real quick. My hands are clean. But I wanna make the onions, make sure their onions are not too big. Make sure they're broken up in pieces. All the pieces need to be cut. Like using the onion you want, you don't have to use red. You can use Sweet Vidalia, Spanish yellow, which is a cooking onion, really strong. This one here has a nice flavor to it. Not too strong an onion flavor. Goes well with the tuna salad. Start out with the mayonnaise first, or the tuna, doesn't really matter. I'm doing these first anyway. I usually don't measure out how much mayonnaise I use. I read recipes online, it says you're supposed to use like a cup. I use probably a little bit more anyway, so I'm not measuring it out actually. I'm just going to use a couple tablespoons to start out with anyway. It's probably close to a cup of mayonnaise. Like I said, I don't measure my food when I cook. I go by what it looks like, and then I usually taste it later, see if it needs more or less. I can't do less. So I'm just going to start out with that first. You can use either sweet relish, or I'm using dill because I don't like my food sweet. So I'm just going to add the rest of this. I don't know, it's probably a tablespoon and a half, and there's liquid in this. So I'll just add that in there. I might need more, and then I'm going to wash this out and recycle it. Alright, I'm going to open up, it's a 12-ounce can by weight, or if it's drained, it says it's going to be 9 ounces. It's whatever tuna brand you want, and whatever light and chunky. Or chunky light tuna in water. You can use oil. It's whatever you want to use. I'm just using what I got in the house. So I know you're not seeing what I'm doing. Some see what I'm doing. This can up all the way. Now here's a point where you can either add the liquid of the tuna to make the sauce, or you can add a little bit of water. You can use milk. Whipping cream, I wouldn't use no whipping cream because that would be too rich. So depending on if you want this really tuna fish flavor going on, like I do, so I'm just going to add like a little bit to this. I don't need much. I can always add a little bit of water or whatever later. So I'm going to drain the rest of the tuna. I know it's not on camera. I'm going to show you real quick anyway. I'm going to take the lids off. Lids off the tuna. I'll put that on here. I want to drain much I can, and then when it gets towards the end of the draining, I'm going to squeeze down much I can. Be careful, don't cut yourself. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drain this really well. I can't really show you guys without moving the camera. So that's what I did. I squeezed down and turned the can. I was like, well, can't really show you guys this way. Squeeze down and in the sink. It don't matter if I got extra juice in here or not. So here's your tuna. Got some on the lid here. Don't waste it. Side bar sink there. You don't have to look for bones. There's one time I actually opened up a can of small tuna and there was like a chunk in there, so I'm gonna kind of go through this real quick, make sure there's nothing in it. I'm just gonna use my hands real quick. My hands are clean. I just want to make sure that there's no weird spots of tuna or bone or anything in it. So I made a tuna fish sandwich one time and there's a decent piece of bone. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's not gristle, but so far I don't see anything. Plus I want to make sure the tuna is broken up really well. No weird big chunks. And it's clean. No bones, which is good. And we'll rinse that out and recycle it. Now these are optional. You can add them. I don't know if I'll add them because I personally don't care for them. Yeah, I'm not going to add these. I was going to, but I changed my mind. It's optional anyway, you don't have to. But let's open up another jar of relish. So I need like a little bit more. And it is a dill variety. And I don't want no liquids, I just want like just a little bit of the actual relish part. So I'll try to drain some of the liquid out a little bit here. It's probably good. I add a little bit of garlic powder. I don't know how much. Actually, like a light coating of a little bit here. A lot here, so make sure you season your food well. You know, there is onion, which I mentioned in the beginning. I'm gonna add a little bit of onion powder, not much. Just kicks it up a little bit. I got celery seed. I don't have any fresh celery. I'm just gonna add like a little bit of this. So I get that celery flavor. A couple of shakes here and there, good enough. I'm gonna drop my salt a little bit, like a pinch of salt. You can see a pinch of salt. Sprinkle it in there. I'll add the rest of that. Bit of salt. Of course, salt is add to taste. Same thing with black pepper. I mean, I'm gonna add a little bit to it. It's like a mix. This here is a mixture of white and black pepper. So let's add a little bit of this to it. You can always add a little bit of extra salt and pepper later to taste after it's made. I'm just adding a little bit to it now. That's it. It's all the seasoning. You need to take a whisk or a spoon or a fork. Let's use this real quick. Mix this together. You're basically trying to make like a mix between a tartar sauce and like not noodle salad. What am I thinking of? Tuna like you would put on sandwiches or crackers or whatever. But you want a little bit more mayonnaise because you're adding noodles. So far it looks pretty good. Might add this a little bit more mayonnaise. Another tablespoon. Because the noodles will eventually soak up the liquid. Nice sauce, basically, what we're making. As well. And I'm going to taste a little bit of it, see if it tastes any good. I am going to add a little bit of parsley, mostly for color. You don't really need to. You don't want to add too much of it either. I don't know, I just make up stuff as I go, kind of anyway. That's how I cook. Nothing's measured, nothing's planned out, nothing's scripted, nothing. It's all in my brain, recipes and stuff. I go by on what it looks like, tastes like. Because it might need more mayonnaise, I might need more salt and pepper. So it might use a little bit more salt. I did taste it earlier. Noodles were salted, so you don't want to add too much salt because you can't take it away. All right. Get the whisk out of there. Don't need that anymore. Take your cooked drained noodles and add this. Just go this way with it so you can somewhat see what I'm doing. Kind of hard to do it this way because I'm like doing stuff backwards and sideways and whatever. Man, lost noodles. Whatever. Now hopefully I made enough sauce. Get every single noodle out here because everything counts. There's all the noodles. I use a spoon that I cook the noodles with. All you do is mix this together and hopefully you got enough mayonnaise. You could always add more if you need it. And it looks like it. Should have made more of a sauce. And I am going to add a little bit more mayonnaise. It looks like it needs it. I don't want my noodle salad dry. So another tablespoon. Mix that together in there. So I'll probably use about probably a cup and a half of mayonnaise maybe, or close to it. Probably a cup and probably what, 3/4? Like I said, I don't measure nothing. The only thing really missing out here that you could add is either some boiled eggs, which I don't have, peas, frozen, canned, doesn't matter, and celery if you want to add actual celery. There's already got onions in it, relish. So that's pretty much about it. All you do is put this in a container, put it in the refrigerator. You get a better close-up of it. So it looks like nice and creamy. Now the salad will dry out, not dry out, but the noodles will absorb the liquid from the mayonnaise and tuna fish and everything else in there. So when it sits in the refrigerator and you serve it up later, you might need to add a little bit more mayonnaise to it, just to bring back the creaminess. Make sure it's not dry. I'm not going to do a taste test right now of this. I guess I could taste it before I put it in the refrigerator, see if it tastes okay. Make sure it doesn't need anything extra. It's clean, a little bit of onion. I'll give this a taste real quick, see if it needs anything, if it needs any extra salt and pepper or anything. But you can always add that stuff later as you're eating it, kind of thing anyway, to taste. So I'm gonna taste this, see if it's actually any good. According to my taste buds, it needs a little bit more salt. I don't know if I put enough salt in the noodles while I was cooking it. I think I added too much to it. I might add a little bit of black pepper to it. But so far, that's it. It's done. Just gotta let it sit in the fridge for like a couple hours. Let the seasonings and everything else marinate into the noodles, and it'll be awesome. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator, and I'll be back later on, a couple hours from now at least. Next day would be better to actually give this a try, make sure it actually marinates all the flavors really well. So I'll be back for a taste test. It'll take you guys like a couple of seconds, maybe between 2 hours and 5 hours. So I'll be back. Oh, it's the next day. I'll be tasting the macaroni salad that I made, the tuna noodle. This is what actually is left of it. Smells pretty good. Has a decent amount of tuna in it. I did add a little bit of mayonnaise to it, because it does some of the noodles and stuff soak up the mayonnaise and stuff. So that's why I gotta make sure, as long as it's not too dry. I load everything, little noodles, everything. So let's give this a try, see if it's actually any good or not. That's awesome. Nice and creamy. Got your tuna fish flavor going on. Got your crispy onions. The seasonings go really well. A little bit of garlic and onion flavor. It'll be pretty awesome in nice hot summer weather. Not summertime here yet, but it's actually one of my favorite salads to make. There is other salads I can make in the future. I'm gonna wait for like the summertime to actually make them. So if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe button, more videos.